cognizant of the fact that the American public, according to studies and surveys, that 70-some% favor 1070. This really points to our real challenge ahead, and that is to really engage in a meaningful dialogue about immigration. To me, those surveys indicate that the most of the people do not understand the issues involved in immigration, how it is that we have 11 million undocumented people there, what our role has been in creating that, what our role continues to be in creating more and more immigrants that are coming to the north. So there's many issues that I think that we have to take very seriously, as we are not we're not gloating. We don't believe that we have achieved justice yet, because we have a long road ahead of us to really have true immigration reform, reform of our trade policies, and a real look at how we're militarizing our border, privatizing it with unprecedented expenditures to the detriment of our real security needs, such as education, healthcare, infrastructure. And so we must have that dialogue here in the future.
And Isabel, talking about the issue of the militarization of the border and the broader issue of immigration, the New York Times had a report yesterday about the sharp increase in the number of people found dead in the desert around in southern Arizona who were trying to cross the border. The numbers are astounding. 150 people so far this year, and many of them in the last few months during this heat wave that's been occurring across the country. Can you talk about the impact of that on your part of the country?
Absolutely. We have been screaming about the deaths at the border since the mid-1990s, when we began with 14 people losing their lives unnecessarily in 1994, and every year pretty much increasing. From October 1 of 2009 to the end of June, we had 153 deaths documented, and these are just remains found on the border of Arizona, Sonora. July now, and we were not at the end of it, so we don't have the final count, but according to the medical examiner yesterday, 58 people have been found in the month of July. So it is over 200 people, and the summer is not over. This has been an issue that we have raised over and over and over again. We are very happy that the Obama administration filed a lawsuit against 1070, but of course we fault the federal government and all of their administrations since the mid-1990s for creating this situation in Arizona by closing off all the safe and traditional crossing areas of migrants for the past 100 years. In the mid-1990s, we sealed those up, creating a funnel into Arizona, into the most dangerous terrain, and nobody seems to care. Even in regards to immigration reform, people tout their proposals as their reform proposal ending the deaths. It is not true. With the Obama administration wanting to send 1,200 National Guard troops, adding $600,000 to the already highly militarized border, more Border Patrol agents, more fencing, more technology and software along the border, we are going to see an increase in the deaths, and really, it's really unconscionable what we're doing, these unnecessary deaths of these migrants.
Isabel, the New York Times reports the bodies of 57 border crossers have been brought in during July so far. Juan was pointing out before the show that is equal, this is in July, to about the number of deaths in Afghanistan
for this month as well.
Just for this month. No More Deaths, the group of activists who have gone into the desert to try to help people, to bring water, who have been prosecuted for bringing water and aid to people in the desert. Do you know what the latest on that is?
Well, No More Deaths continues to engage in that activity as well as others. Unfortunately, Other organizations have put water out. The Samaritans are a group of doctors and nurses that, together with No More Deaths, go into these migrant trails that are used in Arizona, and they have saved lives. However, we can see that we have over 200 people that have died already on this border every single year. It is a deadly situation, the saddest deaths you can imagine. One of the women that was found, of the 153, was pregnant, and so her baby is number 153. It really is a crisis. This is the crisis, not the lies that you hear Governor Brewer spewing, that we have border violence and scaring everybody about the border when it's not a reality. All of the statistics show that the border areas are more crime-free than other areas. So, you know, we really have to focus on what the real crisis is. We are living a crisis, and it's a human rights crisis along this border, allowing generally healthy people that are about to cross and eventually losing their lives within a matter of hours or days in one of the most horrific deaths you can imagine.
Isabel Garcia, your Congressman Raul Grijalva, who is co-chair of the Progressive Caucus, has called off the boycott of Arizona now. What is your feeling about that?
Well, we can understand Congressman Grijalva calling it off now that he believes this law will not be implemented. However, I think the state legislature really needs to feel the impact of what they have done, economic and political impact. Our organizations continue to call for a boycott, not only of the state, but of the Diamondbacks, Frito-Lay, Jimmy John's, and the other businesses that have contributed or in some fashion have not helped us to stop this nightmare from occurring in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, of course, is our capital, where we have a legislature that is unfortunately filled with some of the most anti-immigrant, anti-human beings, as well as, of course, having Sheriff Joe Arpaio that has vowed to continue regardless what the federal government says, regardless of what a district court judge says. He believes he's the law by himself, and he's going to continue. So obviously we believe that the boycotts must continue.
The effect of the protests on President Obama, do you feel, Isabel Garcia, and the actions that the Obama administration took?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that question.
I'm just wondering what you feel were the effects of the protests on the Obama administration and the court challenge that the Obama administration took that led to this decision last night. Let's face it, I think that both the Obama administration, the courts, and everybody are political beings. They know what's going on. They know that there's massive political pressure, economic pressure, including massive historic mobilizations that have occurred in the state of Arizona. National, international people have come in. So I think most definitely there has been an impact on everybody involved, as we all know that massive, real major social change results after there is mass mobilization in the streets and massive engagement by the population that really guide politicians, guide other entities within our system to do the right thing. And so, yes, I believe that the protests have had definite impact on everything that we are seeing that's going on. Isabel Garcia, we want to thank you very much for being with us, co-chair of the Tucson-based Coalition for Human Rights and Legal Defender of Pima County, Arizona. It's the morgues in Pima County that are filling with Latin American immigrants who are dying in the desert at incredible numbers. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. We'll be back in a minute.